Hi, everybody. This is Kimberly, and Mary Payne is in Paris, and she is abandoned us. So we have her replacement, but he might just do the whole thing in Mary Payne voice. We have Matt Marr from Reality Gaze.
Hi, y'all. How y'all doing? I'm Mary Payne. I just got back from Ole Miss, had to go see my son. He's just a lovely girl, just happy for him. Couldn't be more proud of him. Yes, I am 14th generation Mississippian, and I just want to let you know that what does that mean? It means not a lot. It just means I'm pretty and I got good hair. That's what it means right there. That's what I'm going to tell you. And be sure to use your Hello Lash Pink Shade 20 code. Pink Shade 20. Yeah. If you don't use the code, Ingrid will find your IP address and I will send you a very nasty email. Pink Shade 20. Pink Shade. Ginger.
Stop talking.
In your sister's food.
I don't know why Kimberly says I go on vacation too much. I've only gone on vacation 17 times this year. That's not a lot. I've been at home for 3 days straight. That I don't go on vacation. I'm going to Bald Head Island 5 times in May, but that's not too many times.
Not too many
times. I go to Vegas, and then I went to the Paris in Vegas, and then I went to the Paris in Paris.
In Paris.
That's not too many vacations. I don't know what she's talking about. I said that once to her. She got so mad at me. She's like, I do not go on vacation a lot. And I was like, are you serious? You have to be serious right now.
I do not go on vacation a lot. Now, culturally in Mississippi, you need to take at least 3 months off for your family because it's hot. I will say this. Also one of the hardest working people in the business. So
yeah, she really is.
So yes, please drag her, and yes, please take your vacation, Mary Payne. She's gonna kill me for use that her impression. I'm gonna get a text or a FaceTime call, and I'm already nervous for it. But
she specifically said, "Don't talk about me. We're gonna talk about you." Then.
Come on, we're gonna talk about you. We love you.
Yeah.
I will say, I'm not kidding. I don't know if you can see it on the video.
Your lashes.
Mary Payne gave me a Hello Lash. That shit is some of the most amazing shit I've ever used on my eyes. And I've even been putting it on my eyebrows because my eyebrows are light. I've bought like 4 of them for gifts for people. They're a perfect, like little, just like bridal shower, whatever. They're just a perfect little, my friend, she's like, was this vegan? And I looked it up and I was like, bitch, it is. Take it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't mean it to be a commercial, but this shit is real. And it's amazing. I know. Yeah.
And now we're obsessed with these lipsy things. She sent me one of these. Do you know these?
What is this?
Stops. Well, when you suck on a straw, it's good for not staining your teeth, but then you get the wrinkle lines here on your lip, like the smoker lines. So this, like, it spreads it out so you don't do it. It's genius.
Why did Mary Payne give me a lipsy?
I'm sorry. I'll send you one.
Plastic surgery, so I don't want wrinkles on my lips. Shit. Anyway, well, I hope she's having fun in Paris.
I hope she's having fun. I hope she's wearing a beret. If I don't see her wearing a beret, I'm going to be very upset.
She would look cute in a beret.
She would look really cute in a beret, actually. She's a good beret face. But we are here to talk about 90 Day Fiance, as per usual, but I'm really excited to talk about it with Matt because I've been listening to you and Jake talk about it. So I might interrupt with some comments on your previous episodes.
Yes, please interrupt. Yes. Plug. Yes. Love to poodle. Shout out to Reality Gaze podcast, available where you get all your podcasts, please.
Absolutely.
Please. Yes. Okay. We're doing season 11, right?
Yeah.
11. Okay, good.
Angel numbers.
It is. Michael's watching over us. He's here right now. Stay strong. Stay strong. Stay strong. 11.
What did you think of Darcy's look when she came out at the reunion?
Wonderful and completely inappropriate.
Okay.
that is Darcy. I thought that.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm starting to dress up more. I've actually gotten into fat. I don't look like it now. I'm wearing a Wonder Woman t-shirt. It's because it's Beyonce day for me tonight, and I'm getting ready later. But I kind of have decided. I went, I kind of want to be the bitch that dresses a little too much for an occasion. Why not?
Why not? Life is short. I'm learning how to put on makeup for the first time in 45 years.
What? Yeah. Kimberly.
I know. And Katie does makeup. She knows makeup, and she's tried to teach me. And I'm like, no makeup. I can't wear anything.
Well, maybe Kate, can we take you to Ulta? An Ulta trip?
I need an Ulta trip for sure. Because I don't know what I'm doing.
I will totally come over and, I don't want to affect Katie. I mean, let Katie do it, but
she would be very jealous.
She would. We can do it together. I just love makeup. Honestly, she can do your makeup, but I would love to just take a gummy and sit there and talk to y'all.
Okay. We would love that.
Give me a high noon and I'm a happy bitch. So, but no, yes. Yeah. So Darcy's always she's bringing the party. But thank God for Darcy and Stacey on this. I mean, this was a great season, but you just forget what they're just reality show pros. They get it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Florian, I think, has gotten it. And I actually feel like based off his answers, I'm kind of excited to see Georgie on the next season of Last Resort because I think he's getting it because they're going to be on.
Oh,
this is not confirmed. This is Poodle
that
and I 100% think they're going to be on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, my parents they're not new to 90 Day, but they joined after Darcy. So I had to show them all of the photos of previous Darcy and Stacey. I had to show them cutting on the bias video. And, I just that's my job, is to educate them and is the learning channel. And so I have to provide all of the context of Darcy in the past. Yeah.
I got to say, now this makes Poodle angry, but my hands are dry. I'm going to put on some lotion.
That's fine.
It's L'Occitane, French for Mary Payne. But anyway, I honestly have to say, I think I learned a big learning tool in realizing that I was codependent was watching Darcy. So it still is a learning channel.
It's still the learning channel. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Anyway, all right. What'd you think of this episode of 90 Day?
I thought it was good. I thought it was entertaining. I did miss Mina and Mark. I'm enjoying them, so I was a little sad we didn't get them, but I enjoyed it overall.
I would always have them in spite of the throuple. Do y'all hate the throuple as much as we do?
Yeah, Mary Payne specifically hates the throuple, and she's at the point where she wants to just stop talking about the throuple. It was like Big Ed, and we're just like, no, we're pretending he's not on the show. But people want her to talk about the throuple, so she begrudgingly talks about the throuple, but it's mostly I don't know, and then they ate Mexican food, and I hate them. That's basically what we do. We hate them. We think they're sex tourists and reality fame whores, and he's like a golden doodle that doesn't seem to know what's going on at any time.
Very true.
Has that weird creepy smile on his face all the time. And she's a narcissist. I agree with your assessment that she might be a narcissist. They possibly want to bring her to America as a sex slave immigrant.
That's what Jake thinks too.
Yeah. And with a hint of white savior complex, even though she's also an immigrant. A sprinkle of white savior complex.
Sprinkle. I wonder if I kind of last time said this and Jake went, "Oh, I think you could be right," and it's made me. I still hate watching them, but maybe it provides a little bit. I think Ani is conning them. I think she's totally con. And when I think about it from that lens, I kind of get excited to see her con them and then just go their own way. Like that woman did. I didn't watch the show, but like the woman from Seeking Sister Wives who just conned the hell out of them and took $10,000. I'm like, get yours, Ani. Get yours.
Yeah. I'm kind of
That's what I'm hoping.
Well, I think we've gotten hints of that in the previews
Yeah.
for the season, that there is like, she has a different name and she might be doing this with other people, and they've been giving her money, and
Oh. Very excited.
I'm excited.
I'm very excited too. All right. So shall we jump in?
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Okay. Let's talk about Steven and Maddie. Steven and shall we? Let's talk about them. Do you enjoy bidet?
I've never used one.
Oh.
I know I'm missing out. I just, in my mind, I need a wipe to get, like, I need like some sort of friction, some sort of like pressure to get. I don't feel like water would get rid of any particles.
By the way, Mary Payne is cringe. She's got going, oh God. Oh God. Dave, they're talking about wipes. Oh God. I can't ever leave again.
I would like a bidet for the front area. Like, I feel like that.
It's a game changer.
Really.
I buy like one case of toilet paper a year now. So I'm a fan of it, because you still do the thing, but you just get a little wash first. Again, I can.
Oh, so you do the wash first.
Stop talking. Stop it.
No, we're going to keep going, Mary Payne. That's what happens when you leave. When the boss goes away, the other podcasters will play and talk about poop. So I hope you're enjoying Paris. So do you do the water first? Yes,
you do the water first. And because it shoots right up there. I mean, you got to be careful, or you're going to get pregnant. And so it's just, but pregnant though. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. No, it's shooting up the club. As we learned from Lalu.
The back door. Yeah.
The back door, shooting up the back door of the club.
Yeah. The patio, the smoking lounge, smoking. Yeah. Anyway, I'm a fan. They do it much more in Europe. I don't know why. I feel like my dad, son of a plumber. I don't know why we didn't have one, but whatever. We should move on, because we're going to get a letter from.
I do have to say, because Katie has long had this idea, TM, for a product called Bidet Mate. And you say it with an Australian accent, and it's for cleaning down under. And she was obsessed with this. She's like, we're going to make this product, make $1 million. And then we talk about it on the podcast all the time. And finally someone sent us that it already exists.
I have one.
And I haven't told her yet. And she doesn't listen to Pink Shade. And she brought it up again at our recording on Saturday. And I'm like, no, I can't say it. Should I say it? She's not in the right headspace. It's 2025, Matt. I don't know if she can handle that dream being shattered.
Just send her a text. Just send her a text with a screen grab of it already.
And then turn off my phone.
And like, look what I found. And you're like, hey, all right, I'm on vacation. See you in a week. Whatever. That's what you do. That is what you do. You just light the thing on fire and then walk away. Mm-hmm, that's what you do. You light it on fire and you walk. So Stevie is, they're going to save money. They're going to get married sooner. And she's kind of on board with this now. And she says she asked him, will you be able to work sooner? And Maddie is very much like, yes. One of the most like driven people that I think that we've seen, that like he wants to get a job. Also, I feel like it's not being said, but I wonder too if they're worried if Stevie's dad, Perry, is going to make it. He doesn't seem that sick to me, but the way they talk, I'm imagining it's some type of cancer. We have not heard. Yeah. And that is their business. They don't need to tell us this. But yeah, that's because she says, I think she would do it anyway. But in the moment she says, I don't know if I could walk down the aisle if my dad's not there to marry me or walk me down. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, Mary Payne had her on the show and her dad is still with us. Oh, so good. She could have waited, but I think it was they've rushed it up to like 14 days or something. Yeah. At least Maddie's, wants to work. I love him. He loves Dr. Pepper. That's all I needed to know. all I
I love
needed.
them. I love anybody who he seems to like want to try American stuff and I like that. I think that's fun. And he doesn't seem to want to, well, he seems to want to change her. I take that back. That's what I worry about when people come from strictly very religious cultures. They are going to start dictating how she dresses and things like that. But he hasn't done that yet. He just doesn't want her to look at boobs anymore.
He just thinks that she's bisexual.
Yeah.
So, which I could see it. I don't know if she is, but I could see it. But and also maybe he's just not around art. You're just painting naked people.
Yeah.
When you're an artist.
I think come back to him in a year after living in like a college town and he'll be much more open to.
Oh, is Hattiesburg a college town?
It is. So it's not like Jessica's cow patty town.
Yes.
It looks more like that, but it's actually more young and hip, I think.
What school?
They do have Confederate statues up, I think. But there are young people there.
Oh, wow. Well, good. I'm glad that I just saw on Instagram apparently Maddie's in love with their new cat. They got a kitten. And it's like you see the kitten just sleeping on him shirtless.
Oh, I love that.
He loves a thirsty Instagram pic. He loves it. I'm fine with it too. So, okay. So they decide to go back to Hattiesburg and they pull up on dad. And I love that. This reminded me of like my family where dad's giving him shit like, well, you didn't answer when I called you. You know what I mean? That's like a small town thing because you're like, well, what else were you doing? It's like I can't really do it with Jake because it makes him angry. But like where I'm from, like if I call you, I probably wouldn't do it to you because I mean we're friends, but I'll call somebody and they'll answer the phone and they say hello and I say, what are you doing? And that's just what I do. You just say, what are you doing? And you're like, oh, nothing. What are you doing? And just kind of talk for a little bit. And then you get into it. And Jake's like, I hate that. And I feel
hate that. And Mary Payne will be like, I talked to Jake I talked to Maddie for 4 hours on the phone the other day. And I'm like, what? What? That's way too long. Well, I don't want to talk to someone for 5 minutes on the phone. Text me.
There's wine involved.
Okay. Yeah.
So there is wine involved. And it's a lot, with Mary Payne. It makes me feel like I'm like part of a family or something that I would never, because I live by myself very happily. I adore my life actually. But I'm talking to Mary Payne and then one kiddo comes in, then we're talking, then Ginger then there's a dog situation and then Dave, and then we're talking about Oklahoma. And so it's like a whole catch up. So
I understand.
Anyway, and then always too, one of our podcaster friends, like always Kate Casey texts her, and then we're both texting Kate Casey while we're talking to Mary Payne, like the whole thing. It's incestuous. Where are we? Okay, so so dad shows up. He's like, you didn't answer. She's like, he's like, I didn't hear it ring. She said, well, she says, well, he took me by surprise. And I love the way she said, but you already know it. Did he show you this? And Perry says, I love him because he's so whip smart. He's so quick because he said, yeah, I saw it, but it wasn't there. And kind of smiles.
It wasn't on your hand.
I love this man. I love him so much. He reminds me of like my dad and just my family.
I know. And I was happy to hear on Mary Payne's interview that someone did correct him when he kept saying, is he going to make you wear a jihad? It was just not on camera, but they did correct him. So hopefully he'll stop saying that. And then I have no notes for him. He's great.
I think, So, but anyway, he's like, it's the same old 90-day trope, y'all. He's like, are you sure that's what you want? And Maddie's like, yes, I can prove it to her. And then Perry said, I want to know your opinion on this. Perry looks at Stevie and says, yeah, but you lied to me for 2 years. And Stevie immediately said, no, I didn't. What do you think about that?
That's that whole, I just didn't tell you. That's still a lie.
That's still a
lie by omission. That's still a huge lie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why people do that. He's coming tomorrow. We've been dating for 7 years and he's coming tomorrow. And I'm just now mentioning it. Yeah. I don't know why they do that.
I will say that's kind of one thing that Stevie has she has that stubborn streak. You know what I mean? Where she just can't help but just show her ass a little bit sometimes. But anyway,
I don't mind that.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, whatever.
She claps back on people on social media, and I do like that.
Oh, she does. Good for her.
She does, but in a kind of sassy way. It doesn't seem bitchy or anything. It's kind of sassy.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. We love her. Like, it is neck and neck for us, and I can't believe I'm saying this, of Stevie and Maddie or Shekinah and Sarper for Heart of the Season.
Yeah, I think so.
Who knew?
Shockingly, I never thought I'd say that.
Yeah, but although Shekinah was posting, we'll talk about it later, but she was posting on Instagram and stuff like that of maybe there's trouble in paradise. I don't know.
Oh no.
They better not break up before next month, because Poodle and I want to go to the boot camp.
Yeah. I need you to go.
Yeah.
Also,
I like that, even though
trying to get on Last Resort.
Oh, that's true. I love that you immediately, even though you could go too, you were like, I need you to go.
No, I don't. No, I'm not driving back up to LA. I mean, I do have to have a doctor's appointment up in LA. So I'm thinking like I should probably like see some friends up there when I go, or could I go to the boot camp class? I'm worried I'm just too out of shape, honestly. But I'm
worried for that too. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I'm very concerned. But whatever. I've seen Starpers throw up on his ship. So if I throw up in his boot camp class, oh well. What are we going to do? All right. So and Stevie asked her dad, would you walk me down? He's like, of course, I'd love to. And she's like, so here we go. And everything's happening now in 14 days. And the next day they are pulling up to a wedding venue. And Maddie is not feeling well because he not only ate pork for the first time, but he ate pork belly, which is really just balls deep diving into pork. Truly.
Is it literally the belly?
It's the belly of a pork. Yeah, pork belly. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It can be very good, like Korean barbecue and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. But it's also really fatty and just heavy.
Yeah. No, I felt him because I've been a vegetarian for 30 plus years. So I think if I ate meat now, I feel like that would be me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, very much so. Oh, God, I bet you're heart healthy as can be. Not that you...
Not really. Because when you become vegetarian in the 90s, the only things around that you can eat are fries and chips and things like that.
How old were you when you became vegetarian?
12.
Oh, your parents had fun with you.
My mom sent me the doctor to get my blood tested all the time to make sure I had enough protein. She signed us up for vegetarian magazines. We were the only vegetarians probably in the whole town.
Oh, wait. So your whole your family was vegetarian?
No, it was just me. And my mom was just so worried, but she wanted to be supportive. My dad thought it would be a phase. And then, but he doesn't know how stubborn I am. And then my brother would wave meat in my face and thought it was so funny. Look at it's almost touching your face.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah. There was a cute boy in my class that was a vegetarian.
Okay.
And I really had a crush on him. But then it just stuck,
So it wasn't for any moral reasons at all.
We saw one of those videos about meat processing. Yeah. And then I found out he was a vegetarian, and those two things together, I was like, this is my path in life.
That is
how I will win his
perfect
heart.
Tell me you're Kimberly without telling me you're Kimberly, because you have these beautiful, you have this beautiful moral code. And then at the same time, you're trash like the rest of us.
I'm so trash like the rest of us. But now it's literally for animals. If I think of an animal being hurt, I literally want to throw up. It makes me so sick to my stomach. But that's how it all started. Yeah, it was Casey. I had such a crush on him.
Oh, Casey.
Yeah.
That was such a 90s name, wasn't it?
I know.
So many Caseys. Oh. Yeah. All right. So anyway, he's not feeling well. They're driving around and they're going to meet her friend Grace, which we have met a little bit before. And Stevie's kind of she's like, this is crazy. And she's like, but we've done crazier things. So I'm, I think it's going to be fun. Of course, Maddie is like, well, it's going to be like one of those weddings in a movie, right? And I don't know if he knows how expensive weddings are in America.
Yeah.
It's
I don't know what movie he's seen too. I want to, there's several different kinds of weddings in American movies. So I'm curious. Was it Father of the Bride? What did he see?
Definitely The Wedding Singer.
Yeah,
definitely The Wedding Singer. I think possibly My Best Friend's Wedding, maybe. Although there's a gay character, they wouldn't show it there. Never mind.
Yeah, they wouldn't show Wedding Crashers because there's like
no
sex and stuff in that.
You know what? The wedding. I don't know what wedding movie he saw. Maybe just Father of the Bride. Well, no, but Martin Short's gay as hell. Well, they don't say he's gay in that movie, so
he's.
Man, I don't know. This is a good. I would love to ask him that. What wedding?
Yeah.
But also too, I mean, I'm not going to act like I'm well versed and speak for all of Europe. But I know that I had a friend who got married in Austria, where she's from, but weddings just they're not a business in a lot of countries over there. And maybe it's not in around, I don't know. Now that said, we found Jiggy Jiggy. We've seen what a big production that wedding was.
Yeah.
That wasn't in Europe, but
and Tiger Lily, that was in Jordan, right? And was that in Jordan? Yeah. That was a huge affair.
That was a huge affair. So I don't know in Iran, what come at us, Iranian.
Well, they said that the men and women are in different rooms and you can hear each other celebrating.
I know. It's like they need to have a glory hole or something where you can just kind of look in, see your wife.
Are they passing kites? I love after lockup between the cells.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what was happening. Okay. So she's like, no, it's not going to be like that. We can't afford that. So they meet Andrea. Andrea's the wedding planner. What do you think of this space?
It's much more my space than the other space that we see later, the Long Island space. This was more rustic chic kind of, I guess.
It was really cute.
Yeah, I liked it. And I liked it was I liked it. It was distressed and cute. Yeah.
It looked shabby chic. Yes.
Shabby chic. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah.
And it looked very Stevie. I thought it was cute too. And they're only going to want to do Claire's there with her husband Whit and that cute ass baby. My God, what a chubby, cute baby. And they're just having a wedding with close friends. That's it. Again, we get the 90-day tropes. Claire is worried that she's rushing things, which I know it's kind of like Mark and Mina, but a little different. Whereas Mark and Mina, I get frustrated because everyone's like, but are they going to do this? And I'm like, they have a baby. They have a fucking baby.
Done.
It's done. And this isn't as severe, but at the same time, it's he can't go back to his country.
Yeah.
It's
the
done,
line has been drawn in the sand. Yeah.
This is just a formality, you dumb bitches.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But anyway, she's worried and she's like, well, Maddie, are your parents going to FaceTime or Skype in? And he, in his Debbie Downer tone, his flat, he's like, no, if they see alcohol or co-ed, they won't be happy and there will be rioting in the streets and someone will be prosecuted and my cousins might die. They are super religious. And
the friend's like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Wait, could you hand me my up?
Well, yeah, she's just like, and Claire's like, this is where the shit kicker comes in. Claire says, well, Stevie, do you want to have something to represent you? What about some paintings? And she kind of jokingly says, maybe you could put the painting of me up. And that's where the bomb is dropped at. Stevie painted Claire nude, live and in person. Mm-hmm. And
those boobs were in the same room as her.
Mm-hmm. Which I guess too, you would think that he wouldn't think a big deal about that. But I guess the painting part. But maybe women don't even get naked around other women in Iran. Probably not.
Well, we did again, I know it's not the same in Jordan, but we did see Tiger Lily Adnan. He was getting oiled up by his friends in that spa before his wedding.
We did see
They were
that.
like massaging each other's groin area.
Yeah, we saw that. That was great.
Do you need a second?
What's happening? Okay. I'm here. Hello, Lash. Pink shade 20. Pink shade 20, everybody.
Ginger, stop barking.
That's what brings me back.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. Have I told you about my friend Mary? Oh gosh, I just love Mary. Anyway. Okay. So Stevie, so Maddie is shocked and he's like, this is new to me. I kind of do see Stevie's point where why would she think to tell Maddie this? Because it's such a part of her life, but he's butthurt and that she never told him this. And he didn't know that she was painting girls in person. Again.
Yeah, he thought they were sending her photos of the boobs and then she would paint them off the photos.
Which
still bothered him, but not as much.
Not as much. But still, like, I don't think he knows a lot about art.
Yeah.
But now his mind is thinking, is she bisexual again? And also, too, one reason probably he's thinking this because not that it's necessarily fair. I think it's a bit of more naivete, at least I think. He asked Stevie this several times way before. And each time Stevie dodges the question and doesn't answer him. And I understand why she's like, I'm not answering that because she thinks it's a stupid question. But it's also like, but also you forget, like, this guy lived in a place where you can't walk a dog on a fucking leash.
Right.
So there is going to be a little bit of hand holding of telling and that's just what I think sometimes Americans don't want to accept. But you have to in some cases because this person is.
Yeah.
How would they know if they don't know before? So
he needs to hear a flat out no.
She finally says this now, kind of like under her breath. But it doesn't seem to really suffice for him. He still seems out of it. Claire's like, this is awkward. Whit, I thought your mother was a bitch. God damn. But so they leave because it's getting dark and they have to leave, which again, if you're not from a small town, you don't understand that. Jake and I talked extensively about this, but because if you live in LA, you're in LA. Has anyone ever said to you, well, Kimberly, I got to get going. It's getting dark.
No.
Yeah, no. There's light where we are from. It's fucking dark. It is pitch black and dark. So there's a lot of people that don't like to be out after dark. So
that's so funny.
Yeah, it's a thing.
I noticed when they walked outside, there was a 90s family, like not a town car. I don't know the word for it, like a station wagon. And it had wood paneling on the side.
Yes.
And there was a bunch of luggage stacked on top. It was full on National Lampoon's Vacation.
Yes, it was. Good eye. I saw it.
I was like, is that real? Is that like honestly, my mind was like movie prop.
Yeah.
They're shooting something there.
If you go home where I'm from, you'll still see people driving like a Dodge Dynasty and PT Cruisers. I mean, the good old days. Anyway, I don't know if people even remember those cars. I'm dating myself. So do you remember a PT Cruiser? You don't, do you?
I got to look it up. I have car blindness, so I don't know any cars from another.
Okay.
We talk about it all the time because I would not be good if I witnessed a crime because I would be like, it had doors and there would be like, was a sports car? Was it an SUV? I'd be like, I
didn't pay attention.
It had wheels.
That's fine. I get it. Okay, so they're in the car and Stevie's like, are you mad? He's like, I don't know. Should I be? And she said, if I thought it was bad, I would have told you. She said, I paint things like that all the time. You made it awkward in front of Claire. And he's like, well, you should have told me. And she says, but I don't think he gets it. She's like, but this is normal for me. I'm not keeping secrets for you. It's just normal. So that's where he's like, brings up, this makes me worry about bisexuality. And she's like, this is ridiculous. No, I'm not. I'm going to the car. I'm cold. And I just don't think he's under. He says, I hate it when something's okay for her, but not for me. I don't know if this is the same, but I think it's more of, to me, I think Maddie's an insecure guy. And they're just, I said this on our pod too, but I just feel like he didn't really ever fit in. He was and that. So I think, yes, he's in love with Stevie, but I think the fact that he wants to learn English, I think he knew that Iran was not for him. And so I relate to that. And so I think that because he said, less about her bisexuality, he said, but what if she leaves me because she wants to be with something I can't give her?
Right.
That's about him. So,
yeah, I say give it a year. I think he's going to be participating in a drag parade on Bourbon Street. I really think he's going to embrace.
I think he is going to love how much gay men love him.
Yes.
He's going to love the flirts.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, is he into that at all? No, I don't think so. But he's just going to be one of those straight men that likes to be flirted with. I hope he never meets Poodle. Because Jake will be disgusting.
Yeah.
Like just
disgusting. Yeah.
Just so gross. So gross.
Can I ask you a question? So one thing we're always wondering, she has 2 children. They mentioned it once in the very first episode. Never again. She told Mary Payne she had decided they were not going to be on camera. I do feel like, and I totally respect that, I do feel like we are missing out on a part of the relationship because we don't know how he is with the kids. Because they never mention them anymore.
That's kind of one of the problems with 90 Day is they're very much like, if you don't see it on screen, it's not there. It's not real. And I actually think there's a way to do this, to say that she has kids and that Maddie is meeting those kids and is a part of those kids' lives. And we can hear about it and talk about it. And then even if it's just one conversation and she says, I just don't, but they never want you to say, like, they never want someone to say, I just don't want my kids to be on camera, because 90 Day never wants you to think this is a television show.
Right.
It's like they really want it to be like you are pulling back a curtain and looking in someone's life, even though it's a produced reality show. I agree with you. I think that they're missing that, and they should not show the kids, but at least show or discuss the relationship.
Right. And I said, like, maybe that she shouldn't have mentioned it then in the first episode, but then you'd have the situation with like Lauren and Faith. He had 2 kids and we never heard about them. And then people came at him on social media because they discovered he had kids. So I guess you can't really win. You either mention the kids.
Yeah, you can't.
Or if you don't mention them, everyone's like, she's hiding the fact that she has kids.
Also, people were coming at him because Lauren is a horrible human
He's a horrible
person.
person.
Wasn't paying child support and trying to go to the Philippines so he didn't have to pay his bills. So that's a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little different. Let's just get him out of the way. Can we talk about this throuple?
Yeah.
Okay, y'all. Matt and Amani, I never say her name right, and Ani.
They don't say her name right either. He says it wrong. He says Amani. It's spelled Amani. Amani.
I don't know. I mean, at this point, let's just call her hair, because that's the start of this show, this episode, y'all, is that weave sitting on the sink. Just that.
How did I miss that?
Oh, you missed it? It's a quick thing where Matt is just washing his hands, and it's the very first opening shot. He's brushing his teeth, and her hair is just sitting right by the sink.
Wow.
Looking up at him going, love me, Matt.
I've
been here always. I'll never leave you. Anyway.
Now I'm picturing if she does ever leave him and he's just cradling the hair, just stroking the hair in a dark room.
I'm sure he is smelling it. So we won't go through this as quickly as Mary Payne, but it's not going to be long, y'all. Also, there wasn't a ton for them. But basically, y'all met said. So he's calling Eric, his friend, Eric, who has been in a polyamorous relationship before. Although it seems like kind of like, it seems a little bit like Eric's version of polyamory. It's almost like Reba from Last Resort's version of polyamory is much different than Gino and Jasmine's. And because y'all don't forget, the sign your polyamorous relationship is not going to go well is when you decide to have your first meeting about the rules 60 days before you get married on top of the hill, drinking cheap ass wine, wearing fucking Kardashian clothes and putting it in your notes app. That's not really going to, that's not really a discussion, shall we say? But whatever. But he talks to Eric and he's saying he's upset because Amani, like, basically, wasn't she just waiting to tell him? I mean, she couldn't have been happier to tell him she loves more than she wanted. Oh, yes. It's totally what she wanted.
She wants all to be the most wanted one, and then the two others are just fawning over her.
Yes.
She's loving this.
It's gross when you say it. It's gross when you see it, but it's really gross when you say it, Kimberly. So Eric, he's telling Eric about it, and Eric goes, he gets like, sounds like there's some jealousy. And I'm like, yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Thanks, calm person in the fucking room. You have no idea. We are like, Ani and Matt are like sitting in a fucking wine bar, and we're hearing like 3 doors down. Okay. This pita's delicious. That's what we're hearing.
They left it. She left the cheese on the table and went to scream.
What a dumb bitch. Okay, so
and then he was like, girls, calm down.
What I think Matt says, which is not, I don't think, a good reason. Matt says, this was fun and exciting at first, and now I'm not sure. That is not the reason to jump into an open relationship, or actually maybe open relationship if you want fun. But for a polyamory, at least all the friends that I know, and I know a lot of people that are polyamorous, it is not about fun and exciting. It's about, if they're a polyamorous person, they don't feel completed or fulfilled in one loving relationship. They need to be in a relationship with someone else. That is a many, because she likes the attention, although she's not really poly, she's just a narcissist. But anyway, so even when he said that, I went, y'all didn't even go in this for the right reasons. You just want, again, we talked about it, but
also, and there are kids involved. You shouldn't be fun and exciting should not be what you're looking for when you have kids involved too.
Exactly. So
they should be just in an open relationship where they bring in someone, sex friends. They have some sex friends. That's what they really want, I think.
I feel like there's, at least in my experience, and y'all can come at me if I don't mean to upset anybody. I'm not making generalization, but I'm basically saying, because I know that we have a lot of polyamorous. There's a lot of polyamorous bunkies out there, but I'm just saying, in my experience, I either find there's nothing in the middle. Either my friends that are polyamorous, they went to therapy, they talked about it for 2 years before they even fucking did anything. They made extensive rules, made sure everyone was safe, and did it that way. Or there's one person who's codependent, and then there's another person that's on a narcissism, self-centered scale that needs to be loved by more people like this, and they jump into it. And I kind of feel like I see those two extremes, and it's not good.
Also, I think you almost need to have more than 3 people. Because 3 is such an uneven number that there's always going to be someone that's left out. So if they had a few sex friends, and it was less like, we're not married to this person, it's just friends. We're just friends. I go on dates and it's fine. Yeah,
it's fine. So, Eric, the wonderful consoler, just says to Matt, well, you could lose everything. So that's helpful.
That's
Matt
great.
Just starts crying. He's a pretty crier. But whatever. Yes. And so he's like, you need to talk to him, and Matt is like, thank you for kind of validating me, and I appreciate not being crazy. You're a good friend. I'm sure they'll end up fucking the same woman when he goes back to San Diego doing some weird whatever they do. Anyway, y'all, some woman gets up and goes talks to Matt. I don't know who it is because she doesn't have any hair extensions in or a stitch of makeup. It's beautiful woman. Actually looks like an actual human. I'm like, girl, you look so much better without all that shit on you, but whatever.
I agree.
So they're going to the beach and she's like, it makes me upset that he's taking this long to process this. And I'm like, already,
It's
what a
been
fucking,
not even 24 hours.
what a fucking just self-centered, horrible person. Even when earlier, like she has, I mean, this woman has no empathy. She's either I can't imagine what kind of children she's raising. Truly.
Truly. Well, and their nanny spoke out and said she's horrible.
Yeah.
They're both horrible and horrible to their kids, and the kids should be taken away.
Like, but not, I believe all that. I think this woman has mental illness, 100%. And so Matt walks out to the beach and he's like, basically he's like, this is hard for me to accept how this went down. And he even said, how would you feel if I told you that she didn't love you as much? She doesn't answer the question, y'all, because we know how she would do. We know exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, I just missed the cheddar. Oh. That's how she would handle this. That's what we know. 100%. And so, but he said, but now you bonded with her and I feel like you're pushing me out. And Manny's like, why are you switching on me like this? Why are you telling me this now? And I'm like, because he's your husband, bitch. Like, who else is he supposed to talk to?
Yeah, you're in this together, I thought.
And he kind of says, look, I need your help. That's why I'm coming to you. He said, I opened everything up. You're the most important thing in my life. He's like, I don't want to dismantle 10 years of our marriage. I wouldn't be doing all this if I didn't care for her and for you. And then did you see how she doesn't understand him. She doesn't feel anything for him, but you see how she'll just like switch. It's like it's a creepy, like cold turn. And she just goes, I love you, baby. Her voice becomes childlike again.
Yes. Yeah. And she's stroking his back.
Yeah. It's creepy. Anyway, Sean Robinson says we wish them the best.
Yeah. We got to move on because we're not going to solve anything here today with these people.
Okay. Let's talk about, you want to talk about Sean and Aaliyah?
Sure.
Okay. So nothing like waking up and your fiance's mascara wand is stuck to your dog. That was gross.
It didn't bother me.
No,
I don't mind dogs.
I don't mind dogs. It's just like,
gross.
why is it there? Whatever. So the
thing that bothers me, and that dog is cute, is she really wanted a tiny dog, but he did what he wanted to do and got a dog that he wanted.
Did he get the dog before or after they were together?
Before she came, and it was
they
not
were together.
Oh no, he got the dog after they were together. Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know, but that tracks because
he said, "I know you wanted a small dog."
This was not a good episode for Sean, though. So this tracks
what I wanted. Yeah. It's just like the whole house is his and it's all his stuff. And I don't feel like it's her world. Like nothing in it is her world yet. And so,
no.
And that makes me sad for her.
Jake
she's not going to be comfortable here. No,
Jake said it several episodes ago. This relationship, the main plot of this, y'all, is not to he said and I agree, it's not that she's trans. It's the power dynamic and the social economic dynamic that he's in control of everything and she doesn't have anything.
I said exactly the same thing. He's so much older. He has so much more money. He's so much more established. She doesn't speak the language as well. She's going to come here and not be able to drive or work or do anything. Living in his house.
She's also incredibly emotionally immature.
Yeah.
because
she's
of her
going through
trauma
this
and
major change. Yeah.
It's really
That's my main concern more than the
yeah.
trans issue, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, that's the main concern to everybody else in his wonderful, accepting family and friends. We're going to get there. So they're going to go up north to this engagement party in Sonoma. Have you been to Sonoma?
No.
Have you been to Napa at all?
I don't drink wine or anything. I've been on a few like wine tour places, but it's wasted on me. But
it's so beautiful. I
know it looked really beautiful.
Just sit in a vineyard and drink a Coke. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, I would bring like a Coke Zero in my purse and be that person.
It's
that would
great.
Be me.
So you know what? Go with Mary Payne and I will drink enough wine for 3 people.
Yes.
That plan that trip. So again, Sean immediately is like, you got lots of explaining to do, Lucy. And Aaliyah's like, what is that? She doesn't get it.
She doesn't get it.
She doesn't get it. And Sean's like, well, she doesn't get my humor because my humor is dried. I was like, no, girl, your humor is old. I know, because I have the same humor, and I'll say things to people, and these young kids just fucking stare at me. It's not a good feeling.
It's a problem with the youth. They're just not educated on pop culture. We need a VH1 I Heart the 2000s or something because I learned a lot about the 70s and the 80s from that show. So, and I was there for the 80s. I
heart the arts. I heart the art. I heart the art. That's hard to say.
I heart the arts. Yeah.
Yeah, you can do it better. I have adult braces. So, okay. So, they're talking about there could be snow. And now Aaliyah says this is important. She says to him, I don't like it when you do jokes around me and you're laughing and I'm just sitting there smiling. And then kind of even says, and please don't make the jokes about me.
Yeah.
Put a pin in that for later, y'all. Put a fucking pin in that. And Sean tries to say, well, I'm just trying to explain the age difference. To me, what Sean is actually saying is, I'm uncomfortable with this situation. I'm possibly angry about this situation. I have resentment about the situation that I agreed to be in. We've all done that. That's the worst feeling, actually. To me, it's way worse when you're mad at yourself than when you're mad at someone else. And I think Sean is having a bit of that, but he's taking this out on her because, especially in queer relationships, we are way used to somebody being with somebody younger. If I'm still single when I'm in my 60s and if I have a lot of money, you bet your ass I'm going to fuck a 30-year-old. Yes. Yeah. Someone to take care of me when I'm 70 and someone needs to wipe my ass. Of course, you don't need to wipe my ass because I'm going to have a bidet. Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, but I think that's really why he's joking so much about this. And does Aaliyah take everything seriously? She does. She is her life though is very serious right now because the stakes of her life are so high right now. Anyway, they're driving to San Francisco. Again, another Barbra Streisand reference, just missed. She doesn't get it. But you can tell that she's a little in awe of seeing it, even though it reminds her of a horror movie.
I loved that. That's my girl. Yeah.
That is not my girl. I don't see horror movies. I'm going to go see Sinners tomorrow night only because everybody's talking about it, but I'm scared.
I only watch scary movies because I feel like the world is so scary now. At least an alien isn't popping out of my chest. So
you have a podcast called A Date with Dateline. So this is where you live. I would never go to a parking garage alone at night ever again if I listened to your show on repeat. No fucking way. So anyway, they arrive at his mom's house. Now, his mom and Aaliyah are close. And this was really sweet, wasn't it? Like them
Very
meeting
sweet.
for the first time. They're crying, the mom's crying, Aaliyah's crying. They've been looking for this so long. I want to ask you, is it Christmas or is the Christmas stuff up all the time? Because Jake couldn't answer this.
I think it's up all the time.
Okay.
Because, I'm 90% sure it's up all the time. Yeah. And I've known people like that.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Tiffany
Also,
Jackson back.
I'm a Jew, so
that's
it's
true.
weird
My
for
friend
me
Tiffany
anyways.
Jackson, her mother kept Christmas up. I mean, decorated the house, the lights all year long. All year long. 4th of
Wow, the
July.
lights too.
Yes, 4th of July, Christmas is always up. This is back in Long Grove, all the fucking time. And I remember when Tiffany's dad was arrested for making meth back in their shop behind the house. That was part of like in the police stories that like he went and hid, and she had in the yard, she had some of those giant Christmas presents, you know, that are lighted that people hide in. And that's where her daddy DJ was found, was in the Christmas box hiding from the police.
That story went in such a different place than I thought it was going to go.
Well, welcome to Oklahoma. So anyway, Feliz Navidad, motherfuckers.
I'm going to be thinking about that a lot later.
Anyway, Tiffany Jackson didn't die. Her best friend, though, died. That's what I'm thinking of. Tiffany is still alive, but her best friend, Jessica Gordon, she died at like 38. Anyway.
Oh, God.
I know. Whatever. We're moving on. So Christmas is everywhere. And so where do we go? Sorry. It's so
Happy birthday, Jesus. Happy birthday, Jesus. Tiffany's still alive, but the friend is dead.
I love Tiffany too. She had beautiful violet eyes, and I always told her, no, hashtag, you know, your schoolmate is gay. As I was like, one day I said, you know who you look like? She said, who? I went, you look just like Delta Burke. Oh,
that
God.
was the nut. The Lutz went out in Georgia.
All right. So Sean basically says he's talking about his mom having too much stuff. And so Aaliyah.
I can't stop picturing the house like blowing up from like a meth lab exploding. And just there's like a reindeer like in half on the sidewalk. It just goes flying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure her dad's dead now. Overdose.
Oh, God.
It's fine. I should look her up on Facebook. I haven't talked to her.
You should
see what's going on. Anyway, so Aaliyah goes and gets a gift. And meanwhile, Mom and Sean are talking. She's like, are you nervous? And he says, I don't want to hear their concerns about the trans thing. Now, he says, we did meet that one horrible friend. So maybe he thinks that that friend is going to be like that. Although I don't feel like that friend is a normal. I'm in the queer community, literally in West Hollywood. I've been to that bar they were at.
Yeah.
People I know wouldn't care, wouldn't be about this trans thing. It'd be more like his friend that we meet later. But, you know, and Mom's like, you do whatever you need to do. You be happy. And she's like, are you 100% happy? And he's like, well, no. He's like, you're never 100% happy, but I'm 60%, which we get into a whole discussion about happiness, but Jake's never happy. So this is just, but you know, different strokes.
And some part of being happy is a choice.
Yeah, for sure.
Some is life circumstances and all of that, and personality, DNA, but probably there's part of it that's a choice.
Exactly. So, anyway, so later on, they're going to the party. They're late because they're waiting for Aaliyah to finish her makeup. Sean's like, well, I thought I was gay, and now I'm waiting for my wife to finish my makeup. I don't love those jokes, but
I don't. Yeah.
How long do you think they were late for?
Oh God. Well, at least an hour.
At least. I think 2 hours.
It might have been 2 hours. Meanwhile, Mina is like, that's nothing.
Mina's like, that's nothing.
4 hours late.
I do think where it's I think Mina is very much like, people can wait for me. I don't care. I think Aaliyah has probably so much anxiety. She can't leave the house unless she looks a certain way. Again, I wish Mary Payne was here because I know that she would Well, I always wish Mary Payne was here because she's my friend, but I want you. What do you think? Because I know you have opinions, but what do you think Mary Payne would have said about Aaliyah's dress to this engagement party?
I think she would say, it's a sack. Why is there no shape going on? She has a figure. Why is she not showing off her cute little figure? And what were those feathers on the bottom? I thought it was going to fly up. Now, to me, I thought she was almost giving a Barbara Streisand 60s look with the feathers. The dress grew on me. At first, I thought, oh no, that's what she chose? Why? I did not like it at first. But then I saw there was a little cinch in the back, and I thought, okay, it's growing on me. It would not have, I just don't think it was her top choice. I think there have to have been other things. She's so pretty. There were so many other things she could have chosen.
So pretty. I hated the color. The color was
why
gross.
is it dark brown? Yeah.
It did not do anything. I hated it. It looked like a couture burlap sack.
Yeah.
I hated it.
It didn't fit the occasion of being outside at it just didn't feel right.
No.
She's so pretty. I could think of 4 other things she wore in this episode that would have been better.
Yeah, and then with the hair too, it was like Jennifer Lopez on tour in 2003. Yeah. It was too much.
In her talking head, she's gorgeous and her hair is down and flowing and yeah.
Agreed. So they're showing up and Sean's like, I haven't told them anything. I haven't prepped them at all, which I think is actually cruel. I think that I said it on our show. When you love someone and if you're worried about somebody having a negative reaction, you tell that person, hey, my partner is trans. If you have a problem with it, don't come to this dinner. If not, we'd love to see you there. And because you that
just don't want any looks.
Person you love.
Yes, you don't want them to have any looks or people like looking them up and down, trying to figure out, are they trans? Like, you don't want any of that for them.
No. And then they show up and here comes Sean's daughter, Kayla, looking like she just walked out of fucking Portland with dyed hair and cool clothes. And immediately it's like, hi, I'm Kayla. What are your pronouns? And you're like, the fuck? And then is the son gay as hell?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. I clocked just like a voice little like
a voice
or something.
A voice? A voice? A purse from Forever 21 fell out of his mouth when he said hi. R.I.P. Forever 21.
Is it gone for good? Or it just Mall's gone for good?
You know, I can't believe that. I can't believe I said Forever 21 on a Mary Payne show about purse. I should have said, it was like a purse from the Real fell out of his mouth. Y'all know the Real? That's where I get my purses. Oh, I love my Dooney and Book or whatever it's called. I love it.
Use pink shade code 20.
Use pink shade code 20, y'all. Pink shade.
Yeah.
Ginger, don't eat your poop. She's gonna kill me.
She does love a purse talk, Mary Payne. She loves to analyze. Is it real? How much did she spend on it? I Googled it. I found this exact purse. Yeah.
She could have a podcast just called Purse Talk.
Yes, Purse Talk.
Habla la cartera. So anyway, I don't know why I'm so gay that I know what purse is in Spanish.
I know, shoe store, zapateria.
Zapateria. Okay, so the son is great. And Sean says, I know Sean distances himself from family and friends, but she said, but they looked happy. And she's like, and this felt wonderful because some people on my mom's side of the family don't accept me. So it meant a lot to me that they were so warm. And then Sean makes a comment about, if things don't go well, they'll just send her back to Brazil. And immediately, I'm sure you came off the couch when he said this.
Yeah, I don't like that.
So fucking gross. And even Austin, Sean's friend, said, well, that's a beautiful way to put it. So what I think we're learning, I think Sean is that bitchy gay friend that just can't be happy about anything.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder if that's the reason he's in this type of relationship with Aaliyah, because in LA, when people meet him, they're like, oh, you're kind of sarcastic and funny. But then you go on like 3 dates with that person and you're like, oh, that's all they are, because that person is
Yeah.
unhappy. Fuck this.
Yeah.
I don't want to be with that person. And that's why
Uh-huh.
he's trying to date some little twink in Brazil.
Uh-huh.
So,
And his mom seems just so happy and joyous, but just like I'd like to go to Disneyland with her. I think she'd be fun.
she'd be
Sean would
fun.
just bitch the whole time, you know? And I get it. I'm sometimes very unhappy, but it's,
Yeah, but
he's very privileged and could have, if I was his age, I would be like, let's just enjoy life. Let's just have fun, you know?
he's had an amazing,
be happy.
incredible life.
Yeah.
You have a dress for a bad dress.
Yeah.
Like, you have a blessed life. There's so much for you to enjoy and be happy. But it's such, if you're not happy now, you're not going to be happy later. So you better fucking figure that shit out now, people, because it's not going to happen when you get the money, the house, the baby, the dick. And it's not going to happen.
And I don't like this whole like, well, whatever. Well, whatever happens, marriage, we'll try it out. I'm probably going to die. It's fine. It's like you're playing with someone's life. She has her whole life ahead of her. And she's not a prop for you to have on your arm. Like, she's a person. This is her life.
No, even the friend Alfred is like, we love you. We're so glad you're here. He's like, why didn't you tell me how beautiful? Why have you told us about this beautiful creature before? All the things, like, Alfred is basically like, he's basically like being like Robin Williams from The Birdcage right now, just trying to make Diane Wiest and Gene Hackman comfortable. And so, again, current references only. As we like to say on the, y'all like to say on this show.
Does Sean ever say to Aaliyah, you look so beautiful?
I don't think so.
He just doesn't seem happy that she's there. Even like, even
he doesn't want to be there.
The airport, it's like she came down the airport. It was not like, oh my God, you're so beautiful, I love you so. It was just like,
Sean.
Let's get out of here. There's traffic.
Yeah, exactly. Mary Payne's gonna hate that I'm saying this. Sean wants 22-year-old Latino exotic bussy. That's what he wants, y'all. Bussy, bussy, bussy. And he thought he was getting that. And then Aaliyah flipped the script.
Yeah.
And now he's like, oh, fuck. I do have feelings for this person. I don't think there's anything, it's hurtful, but as a gay man, I don't know what I would do. But if I'm very in this part of my life, I'm very pro dick. Mm-hmm. So if I was with someone, like initially starting to date, now if I'm with someone for like, we're fully in love or we're married,
right? It's been years, yeah.
But when they weren't that long into the relationship, I believe, when Aaliyah transitioned, I would have said, "Hey, I would love to be your friend, but this is not. I done the wife thing. I really want to be with someone that has male anatomy. I'm so sorry if that's offensive to you, but I think that's okay to own that. It might be hurtful.
Fine. There's no enemies here. There's no like villain in this story.
No, and he should have done that. He just
needs to say, "This is not what I wanted, and I'm happy for you that you're happy, but I need to let you go to live your best life because I'm just going to be not into this the whole time. And that's not fair to you."
And he tries to say, well, I'm not a good texter. His friend was like, bullshit, you're a great texter. Like, and Alfred's even like, this is great. We're happy for you. It's not it's that she's so young and it's figuring out her life and you're basically done. And what the fuck? And then Sean makes that comment like at dinner, does exactly what Aaliyah asked him not to do. He's making jokes about their age. And he's like, and if things don't work out, he says at the table, well, maybe immigration will come and take her away.
What the heck was that? Yeah, that's not a funny joke.
That was so, fuck this guy. That's gross. Fuck this guy.
And I know he said that like probably last year when they were filming. Still not funny. Never funny.
Still not funny. Never funny. Okay. We got 2 more people. And shall we move on? And then we can. Okay. I don't know how long y'all usually go, so I'm sorry if we're going way longer than normal. But
No, it's fine.
okay.
I think we have 3 more couples.
We still need to talk about we still need to talk about Shekinah and Sarper and Greg and
Joan.
And that's it.
Oh
right?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. We don't need to talk about Juan and Jessica.
No, Cal Patty's not here. And Juan Hanks,
Yeah.
Oh God, he's not here.
Can I just say I was more revolted by the macaroni soup, the mac and cheese soup, than I am by anything the throuple has ever done. That was nasty.
It was pretty nasty. It was very nasty.
And also, I agree with you that Megan is dangerous.
Well, you know what? I will say this. So we posted a meme, and Jessica, I think even in the meme, like I did the voice of Jessica, and I put my hands over my face as her bangs.
Yeah.
And she like LOL'd it and smiled, like laughed. She said, "Oh my God." And said, "You have to watch this," and tagged Megan. And Megan watched it, and she was like, "This is hilarious."
Okay, so good. Megan was on Pillow Talk, and she like, who did she talk to? Tim and Veronica. They're doing this thing on Pillow Talk all season where they're calling people from the show and acting like it's a very organic thing. Like I just found her on social media.
Sure.
Hey, it's not set up at all by production. But she seemed much better. She seemed much less psycho.
Maybe she was playing the villain. Maybe they needed somebody for it. And maybe, I don't know.
Maybe when she's having sex with her husband, Herbie, she talks about how Juan cheated and he's so over it and she can't let it go.
Mm-hmm. I do feel it feels very Rebecca De Mornay. That's what I've said before.
It really does.
Single white female.
It really does.
But also, I love that Jessica, y'all, we call her Cow Patty on our show. So that when we say Cow Patty, that's what we mean. But I love that Jessica calls him Juan Hanks.
Yeah.
It makes me so happy, y'all. Because if you don't think he doesn't look like Tom Hanks, you're mistaken. Look again, y'all. Does. He really fucking does.
He does, actually.
Anyway. Oh, well, so, oh, God, I'm on a boat. Okay. So there's pirates. God, I'm a captain. Okay. Anyway, I know it sounds just like Tom Hanks. It's like he's here.
It's like he's here.
Hi, Shekinah and Sarper. So they're with the robot brigade here. Oh we've had several of our sissies, our listeners, that live up there in Whitefish, where it said that this town is super bougie, super wealthy. It's trendy right now. And they said, yes, these sisters are extra and also would fit exactly in with the vibe of the town.
Wow.
So, but they said it's
and the boyfriend.
And the boyfriend, who's I found out because Caitlin, who does social media for us, he's from Canada. And Caitlin like knows him. She's realized she's seen Shekinah's sister before in Toronto. Wow. So, but she said he's a tattoo artist.
Okay. That makes sense.
But anyway.
I was just so distracted by all of them and their lips and the hair and the outfits and that I did not notice that Shekinah is wearing a cardigan that shows off her middle boob area. It shows off the boob crevice and it's a cardigan. I've never seen that before.
It's modest. It's a modest boob cardigan, modest one. I guess. It really is. It does look like, though, they're all in like a Hot Topic convention and she's at Ann Taylor.
Yeah.
Well, what's the slutty version of Ann Taylor?
I know.
Rachel Taylor? I don't know.
Sure. Sure. Candy Taylor.
Candy Taylor. Yes. Candy Taylor. All right. No offense to Rachel's or Candy's. No. So they're sitting there, and that's where Sarper admits he's like, "Look, I've learned a lot," and he said, "I've calmed way down now." And then one of the sisters, s11e11, I don't remember. They're talking. Jay's the boyfriend, but Shariah, the sister who's the one who met him in Turkey, is like, "You don't grab things anymore. You still have anger issues," and he's like, "I've had them, but I've worked on them." And then Zanaya, the other sister, asks a good question: "How do you stay calm?" That's a great question, I think. And Sarper provided a great answer. He's like, you have to love and respect the person you live with, and blah blah blah. I love this quote where he's like, I feel like I'm on the Matrix and I'm dodging the bullets. But Sarper says, look, I was different then. I didn't care what you think. I was rude and I apologize. And now I'm trying to make her happy. And he apologizes again for the Turkey visit. And then we find out they weren't together that long at all whenever he fucking met her to begin with. They didn't really, she kind of says, we didn't really know each other.
Yeah, that was still pretty new in their relationship when he calls her a slut and a
slut bitch. It was the way
and he was still
too.
Measuring out her grains of rice to eat. So
really, one of
her
the
weight
best
stayed
in
at
a day. Just so wonderful. So she brings this up. Shariah says, she acts like she takes the apology, but she doesn't, y'all. I think the other sisters are kind of warming to him. You can't tell. As Sarper says, I could not tell what they were thinking. That's because none of their faces can move.
None. Yeah.
And they're mean girls. Like that's just that club, where you don't like show emotion. They're Kardashians.
Mm-hmm. They've adopted a Kardashian voice, face, and personality.
Yeah. It's a problem. That's what I want to say to people. I'm going to be a gay single man telling you how to raise your daughters out there. But if your daughter is starting to do this shit, you nip that in the bud right now.
Yes. Yes. And I said to Mary Payne, I feel really bad for Shekinah's daughter. And again, like Darcy and Stacey's daughters, like Darcy's daughters, like when you see your mom like becoming this whole different person, becoming a Bratz doll, like you have to feel somewhat bad about yourself that like she's making herself look less like you, and she's changing to fit what men want, I guess, now, or what society is telling them they should look like.
I do love though how Darcy's daughters troll her there. That's my favorite.
They're so great. The Miss Piggy line after they came back from their surgery.
Yes. So maybe they know that, like, I don't know. I would love to meet Stacey's sons and see what they're like.
I would too. Yeah.
But anyway, que sera.
But the fact that Shariah that has the nerve to say, I just don't think he's being genuine. I don't think he's a genuine person. I was like, bitch, everything about you is fake.
Yeah, when I laughed like a hyena when she said it, and she's just standing there with Gary the tattoo or whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah,
looking like he's like wearing sunglasses inside.
Yeah, the tinted like yellow ones, and he has like a weird cowboy aesthetic and Native American jewelry, and
you're white as fuck. Sure,
he looks like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, but like some other movie. Like it's a whole, and I was like, Shariah, your whole personality, your whole face, your whole aesthetic is fake.
Okay, I'm like,
you just jump on whatever the latest trend is. Whatever the latest trend is. That's
exactly
what you're doing.
Whatever the latest. That's exactly what she's doing. I'm from Oklahoma and I don't wear Native American jewelry because I know it's not appropriate.
Yeah.
Whatever. Maybe he's Native. I don't know. I don't give a shit. Okay, so they're getting ready to leave, and later on, Sarper and Shekinah are getting ready to leave, and she's like, I think it's a wait and see, but it went pretty well. They just care about your actions. And she kind of says, she says to the camera, I just need to make sure that we see some changes and that his actions do line up. Cut to 1 week later. They are fighting, and production posts a little chyron telling us that Shekinah recorded the audio of their fights, and he's not saying very nice things to her.
Why is she recording him?
I don't know. It did make me wonder a little bit, is this fraudacity?
Right.
Like, are they good? And they're just like, hey, y'all, this is going so well. Or is she
more concerned in the middle of a fight that I get this on tape for the show than the fact that my relationship is falling apart?
That too. Well.
Or you think this fight was fake?
It could be either way. Now that you say it depends on her a little bit of her raising, because as Mars, I've recorded a couple of fights without telling people just because when you're a Mar, you record shit because you just never know what you're going to need to blackmail someone or use in a court of law.
Okay.
I learned that from my Aunt Darla. So, yeah, she used that on both husbands. And that's how from the second husband, she was able to get $200 a month in child support from that motherfucker. So, yeah, she played that right in front of Judge Tate, in front of the courtroom and everything. Humiliated that man.
So in Oklahoma, you can record someone without their knowledge. And it can be recorded.
This was the late 80s. So I think things were probably a little different then. Also, Judge Tate was a family friend. But because he and I had done musical theater together at Ardmore Little Theater. So I knew him well, and we were in Showboat together. Anyway, but I will. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying, y'all, if y'all come fighting at me, I'm gonna be recording. I'm just saying, where are we? I feel like I incriminated myself. So yes, they're fighting, and she's like, what is your problem? And he's like, it is your face. So do I think Sarper has been changing everything? And do I feel like she's been a little bit grinding or poking him like, you keep got to changing. It's all on you. It's all on you. We can't forget this guy has diagnosable anxiety disorder, OCD, truly. So this is a lot for him to combat and do on his own. I actually think it's pretty incredible what Sarper has done. Yeah.
And he's so attached to his parents and to leave them.
Yes. So I can understand this.
And then she's like, I've done so much for him. I cleaned out my closet to make room for his. That was the first thing she said. That was her sacrifice.
Now she's packing up her shit. So
she should have done that in the first place.
She should have done that in the first place. I get it. LA's an expensive city, but I'm like, honey, come on. Sarper calls his cousin and talking to her, and she's like, her cousin's like, well, this is what I worried about, is that you would fight and then there would be nowhere for you to go.
Right.
Because you both have these knockdown, drag out fights. And Sarper's like, says, I booked a flight. And he even goes in specifics. He's like, I booked a flight. It wasn't economy, but it was at least. It wasn't business class, but it was comfort. I was looking forward to. I'm not even
getting points for it because it's a different airline than I normally use.
I even chose, I chose the beef for my entree. But I did not press OK. I did not select that ticket. I almost did. But I knew once I did, there was no going back. And those mashed potatoes would not be good. So that was Sarper kind of having his moment of crisis.
And the cousin is right, though, because this is one of the things when they were back in Turkey, she kind of said, I'm worried about when we fight, like, can I kick him out of my house? And she kept saying like my house. And like, why does one of you always have to leave when you fight? Like this is also weird because she would go stay at a hotel when they would fight in Turkey. And now he just has to walk around that sad little park when they fight because like that, he doesn't know anywhere and he's not allowed to go to the beach by himself. So there.
Well, also the beach is like 40 fucking minutes away.
Very far. It's very far. Yeah.
There's nowhere really to go in North Hollywood.
No.
There's
no. They trying to make it like the arts district, and it's just
getting better, but
he could go to the like Hollywood,
there's good dick
Museum
there
of Motion History.
Good dick. There are a lot of broke actors with some good dick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I've heard.
I do love that he said your face, which I know he just meant this expression on her face, but it is funny because she has changed her face so dramatically.
She has changed it dramatically.
For him, he designed that nose.
He did. He did a good job. Her nose looks great. He's basically getting it with, he can't continue to end like this. We have to change this. It's up to her. And she's like, it's up to him.
Yeah.
We'll see. Let's move on. Our final couple, Greg and Joan. Lucille, the star of this segment.
Yeah.
Truly. Do you like Lucille?
I've go from episode to episode.
You like
I
watching Lucille. That's a better
I
part.
love watching Lucille.
Yeah, I do. Me
I
too.
do not like the constant monitoring of
No,
the showering.
I don't
Uh some of her, I don't, a lot of her I don't like, but I really enjoyed her in this episode. I did want to go back to the socks from last week because I was listening to your episode with Jake, and Mary Payne and I are such prudes that we did not put together that perhaps there are so many unmatched socks because he is jizzing in all of the other ones, their mates. I'm embarrassed
put that together.
for it.
I didn't put it together too, because I'm not disgusting like Jake is, but Jake did put it together, and I wish I could say he was wrong.
Yeah. I felt like a
was.
Carl's wife. So I'm very glad that you were saying that you also did not
Are
pick
you
up
going
on
to
it.
tell Mary Payne this on the show?
She's going to listen. So
she already listened. She's already yelling stop. She's wishing she has her stop. How do you stop in French? I don't know. Because if I'm with the Frenchman, you're never stopping.
All of the socks were black or white. They were the same men's sports socks. So this didn't have to get this far. This whole situation could have been avoided a long time ago.
I think the socks are a metaphor for Joan and for Greg.
Yes, I think so too. Yeah.
So now she doesn't live with Dad, but Dad is mentioned in this, but he doesn't. So they must be divorced, I guess. I'm assuming. Okay. So Lucille's outside. She comes up. First time I think on 90 Day Fiance, we've had the subtitle of "Yous."
Yes.
On what are yous doing?
What are yous doing?
Loved it. Made me laugh so much. And Joan, of course, just got out of the shower, and Lucille's like, he took a shower. And
that is new top tier passive aggressive saying, I'm going to incorporate it into my world. I'm just going to just walk up to somebody and be like, oh, you took a shower. Must be nice.
It is.
It's so passive aggressive.
So passive aggressive.
Even when it doesn't apply, I'm going to say it to someone.
I respect this. Very much so.
Also, why does she walk up the stairs? Like, am I interrupting? Like, does she think she's going to walk in on them, like doing it doggy style, and Greg has a ball gag in his mouth with the door open? What does she think is going on in the middle of the day with the door open? What am I'm coming up the stairs.
Well, Lucille knows why there's a bunch of extra socks. She knows, Kimberly. She knows. She knows that Greg, he likes to just bake bread. He's been living
with her since he was a teenager.
All he does is bake bread and masturbate. And she knows every time she eats a piece of bread that his hands have touched that and touched something else. Repeatedly.
Oh, God.
At least 4 times a day, I'm sure.
I can't.
Anyway, again, Mary Payne is horrified. Anyway, but it changes though, because then Lucille looks around and goes, oh, your room's nice. You did a good job. And she's like, that changes when Joan's here. And so she's starting to admit she sees what Joan's doing around the house. And she brings up, she's like, having the wedding here. Basically, y'all, she says, like, there's going to be a lot of people. She's like, I remember this hall where your sister had her baby shower, and I thought this would be cool. And Greg's like, well, I thought it would be cool to have the wedding in the house. The chickens can run around. We can set up chairs. And Lucille's like, the weather. And
don't chickens poop everywhere?
Yes. And also, if I'm going to a wedding and I see that you have chickens running about, guess what? I'm stealing a piece of cake and I'm leaving your wedding.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm terrified the entire ceremony. I can't do this.
Yeah.
Y'all know I have a bird phobia, or y'all don't, but
and then Renee is going to show up, try to steal some of the chickens.
You're saying your vows like, and I, Greg, take you. And people are like, is Jenny here? Smith! Like, is that what's happening? My mother-in-law loves me. She loves me. You want to shopping, Mom? Smith won't get a job. And then she lays an egg. So I Also, what Greg doesn't understand, Jake and I went into a long thing about this, but basically, y'all, if you're going to have your wedding at a venue that's not used to doing weddings, you're going to do a lot of fucking work and pay sometimes way more fucking money than you ever would have if you just have it at a fucking venue. Also, and Lucille knows this, and Lucille knows she's going to be doing all of this because Greg has
ideas. He's like, oh, I'll just make the food. You're going to make the food for all those people? No, you're not. He
definitely has. And I mean this in not the way people say they have, they're like, oh, I have ADD, like I have OCD. No, I think he actually probably has ADD. He seems like very much a lot of the symptoms, it seems like he is always starting and never finishing.
Yes, I'm going to start a bakery. What steps have you taken?
Exactly.
No steps. And unless he gets control of all this, and then when he said a C was good enough for him in school last week. And Joan is just so driven. I just feel like, Joan, you will never be satisfied. You will never be satisfied.
But maybe because I feel like Joan likes to mother people and be in charge. So
if she's allowed to take control, do the books, I think, she could whip him into shape.
Yes, I guarantee you. And that's what Greg wants because Greg's been with his mother his whole life. I guarantee you this relationship is going to work out. And Lucille and Joan are going to be best friends and control Greg's life together. And they're going to love it.
I love that. I love that.
I think that's what's going to happen. Okay, so Lucille again is like, well, I don't know. I think it would be better. I think we could do it. And Lucille says, well, you only have a budget for $5,000 for 75 people.
He just doesn't know things.
This is not a wedding even in fucking Lone Grove, Oklahoma, where maybe you could do that.
He just has no idea. You could just do a simple Google search to find out how much a wedding would cost.
Long Island. Like, this is not cheap. Like, I know in LA, a 75-person wedding's at least 20 grand, if not 30 or 40.
Oh, yeah. I know someone who's spent $250,000 on a wedding.
Yeah.
And it was a disaster because the wedding planner disappeared after the ceremony. We never cut the cake.
Whoa, I'm going to need to hear that story later.
It was a lot.
Wow. Wow. Okay, now
there were tears.
You distracted me now. I'm like, what? I need to know more of this. No, when I believed in love and thought I wanted to get married, now I don't because men are terrible. But I was kind of planning on, okay, we're going to spend about $100,000 on a wedding. I just kind of assumed. And that's not even a crazy ostentatious wedding.
Yeah.
So
they're expensive.
They're very expensive.
No, it's just like another dream, like the bakery.
Exactly. Yeah. All of his dreams. And so anyway, and then Joan, girl, this is the thing about Joan that gets her in trouble sometimes. She doesn't know when to say things because she's just so blunt. And she's like, well, Andy has to pay the dowry. Lucille doesn't get this at all. She is not understanding this. I mean, she's like, well, he took you to Costco. Remember, he bought all that big, that like 30 chicken. You ate like 4 of them. Can that go towards the dowry, please?
Yeah. Can we put on maybe a tally of how much he's spent on you on food so far, and then we could take that off the amount, and then he just has to pay the remaining balance over maybe 36 months.
Yeah. I will say this is nice that we don't get this a lot from the American. Greg had literally said, I'm so glad somebody said there's thousands of years of culture on her side for this. It's not going to change with me. This is a culture. Like, he gets it, and he's annoyed at his mom. But so I appreciated that. But I think Lucille is just too set in her ways, too old. She's not going to get it.
Yeah.
Not going to get it. Why don't you just give them some of the chickens? Just ship them over. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Probably not. Probably wouldn't.
How many chickens make one cow? That's the question, really.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of cocks.
Yeah.
Well, chickens aren't cocks, but you know what I mean. Anyway, so this is a big deal. The 3 of them are driving to the venue. We'll find out later that Greg and Joan are like, they don't know what's happening because they don't know that they're on an episode of Extreme Wedding Makeover or something like whatever. We meet a wonderful character named Mike from Marconi Manor.
I love him.
This man Literally, it's like if Joe Pesci showed up on 90 Day Fiance. It was what? Bring back Joe Pesci. I want to see him and shit.
I love Joe Pesci.
I do too.
He's still with us, right?
Oh, people only die on Jake and I's show. I'm going to say that.
I know.
That's a reality, guys. We're not starting this on Pink Shade. We're not starting this. So they're at this place called Marconi, man. Y'all, it's just the most cute little Italian.
He's 2. God bless him.
He's 82.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Did you look it up?
Yeah, I just Googled it. You think I knew that?
Yeah, I was like, did they say his age? Like Mike 82? I'm like, why would they ages him? Why
no,
would they do
Joe
that?
Pesci is 82.
Oh, I thought I was like, you found that quickly? Mike from Marconi Manor's age? That quickly? Wow, you are a fucking detective.
I went to Marconi Manor and then on our About Us page, and it has all the staff and their
Mike
ages.
Marconi, 82. From the Knights of Columbus. Oh, God. All right, we've got, youth have gone astray. So the shocking thing to me about this, it's only going to cost $9,000 to have this wedding. What was your reaction when he said that amount?
I thought, does that include the alcohol?
It does.
For the bar?
Oh, it's very cheap alcohol.
It's cheap there we go. And the food, I was shocked. I thought it would be at least twice that.
I screamed, do it. Do it.
Yes. Do it.
Anyway, and Greg is
they're still going to need to get a Jonah dress, though. But I think with her body, her rockin' bod, she can walk in and just buy something, and it'll look amazing.
I think she's going to look beautiful. And Joan even has, Joan even says, well, this is very beautiful, I admit. And Lucille's like, people pay way over this for weddings, Greg. And Greg's like, yeah, I don't know. I wanted to bake the bread. I wanted to cook. And so finally he's like, it's a little over budget. And Lucille's like, look, why don't you put in $1,000 and your father and I will do the rest?
I was not expecting that.
Whoa, I did not expect this.
Also, I didn't know there was a dad in the picture.
Yeah, I was like, a lot of information just got dumped on us. Joan,
do we think they got a discount for the show? Because they're going to be on the show.
Good point. Lucille's a haggler. She's like, look here. Look,
yes,
Mike, if you want, my son's on this show. What's a show? What's it called? It's called Fiance for a while. Well, you never heard of it. Fiance for a while. Never heard of it. It's a big show.
Called My Son's Fiance Takes Too Many Long Showers.
Yeah, she's like, look, Mike, this woman takes so many showers a day. My water bill's sky. Oh God. My sister Clarice used to do that. My father.
Are they hot water showers? Yeah, I heard you guys say I put a temperature gauge in the shower, so I know it's hot water. My
cousin Antonio, when he stayed with it, used all the hot water. Then suddenly now they're just bitching about their family. And he's like, look,
I'll give it to you for $9,000. Sure.
And Jake said, I'll make you a deal you can't refuse. And
you got a lot going on, Lucy.
You got a lot going on.
You're a nice lady. Your son is a loser. He doesn't have a job. Yeah. He can't even get one of those state jobs I hear he's always turning down. So it's fine.
Lucille, he was masturbating with a sock at the interview.
I'll give it to you. You need a break, I think.
Well, Joan's like, I don't want to be a burden, but she's obviously touched. Greg is crying, and Lucille says to Joan, I want to do something nice for her. She is always giving to you. I see her helping out and how much she loves you. And I went, well, this is adorable.
This is so sweet because last week you said, I can't believe she told me I need to leave the house more. I just think she's not a grateful person. So now you're like, she now seems very appreciative.
But I will say, I don't care what, I'm going to set it on our show. I don't care what fucking culture you're from. You do not tell someone that they need to leave their own house more.
Their own house.
Sorry. Yeah. I can't imagine.
She's on the deed. You can't. Yeah.
I don't imagine anyone anywhere in the world where they go, sure.
I mean, Lucille did say, tell me what's bothering you. Can tell me if there's something that you do. I can take it. Tell me. That was a trap.
Joan is not a dumb person, though. Joan was just being as Joan said, I was testing her. She was testing her bitchy in that moment.
Yeah. I think she's bored without a job and she's like gonna just play with all these people. Yeah.
I need something.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm gonna play with these people's emotions.
Emotions. I think did we do it? Do we do the thing, Miss Kimberly? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, y'all. That was your episode. So I hope you enjoyed it because Mary Payne's never going to have me on again.
Yeah, I think we said dick too many times, jizz too many times,
bussy,
the whole bidet thing. I don't think she's still listening because
I don't even know if she knows what
the bidet.
What bussy is. It's y'all. If you don't know, you don't know. Oh, bussy is ass pussy. A lot of gay men say
pretty much what I thought it was.
Yeah. It's not. Yeah, gay men call it their bussy. The bussy.
I love it.
Mary Payne screaming, stop. We got to explain. We've got to end this. Kimberly, take us out. God dang.
Thank you, everybody. Follow Reality Gaze on social media. Subscribe to them. Leave them a 5-star review. My show's A Date with Dateline. Do the same. But most importantly, follow Pink Shade on Instagram because Mary Payne is always a little behind us in followers and she hates it.
She brings it up every time. I don't know why people won't follow me. I mean,
getting to 10 was like the biggest thing in the world when she finally got to 10. And then now she's just like, I'm at 11.2.
I don't get it, man. I mean, I was sorority queen at Ole Miss when I mean, legacy. My grandmother was, my mother was, and I was too. Everybody knew. I guess I'm not nice to people. I thought I was. But I get, Ginger, stop chewing on that damn toy when I'm talking to my wine friends.
Ingrid, can you find out how we send a message to all the alumnus and find out and get them to follow us on Instagram? Is there an alumni newsletter that we could have an article about Pink Shade in there? I would love to do that. And maybe the president will come on the show. Also, I'm still waiting. Did Matt Sharp email me?
Is Matt Sharp coming on this week?
He still hasn't. Okay. I asked him at that party and he said he would, but
all right.
Not yet.
Well, I'm going to go do
we love you, Mary Payne.
Yeah. I'm going to go do my red light mask. I got to go. I have one of those too because of her, so I can't make fun. All right. Well, thank you for having me on, Kimberly. I loved it.
Thank you. This was a joy. Pleasure. Love you. Bye, everybody. We miss you, Mary Payne. We're just kidding. Don't fire me. Okay, bye.
Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.